Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining, everybody, for another blind review. If you've been following our adventure here the last couple weeks, I was sent a box of samples by our good friend Todd Ritter over at the Bourbon Road podcast. And I have been diligently reviewing each one of those samples completely blind. And there have been some really standout pours in this flight, including the 10-year Redemption High Rye Bourbon, the Evan Williams 250th edition single barrel, and the Copper and Cask Batch 16 release, all of which I would actually recommend as buy on site if you see them. Will today's sample be able to live up to the best of the best? Stick around and find out. So thank you for joining the Whiskey Friends. Let's kick off the show. Man, but our adventure is coming to an end. I'm actually kind of sad about this. I have been having a blast doing these blind reviews. I kind of want to keep the ball moving and just keep doing blind reviews like this more often. But sadly, there are only 2 samples left in our box. So if you like this, be sure to go back and watch the other 10 reviews. But we're going to do this one here today. The other one's kind of a short, only a half ounce. Like, I don't even know what that is. It must be something relatively special, or he just didn't have much of it. But here on the channel, we do have a robust scoring system comprised of flavor score, experience score, and value score metrics. Given that this is blind, we take the value off the table because we're not going to know that until the reveal. But as I go through the flavor and the experience metrics, I'll walk you through the process, show you the scores as they're building up. And then ultimately, we end up with this overall aggregate score that enables us to compare this whiskey to other whiskeys. As an example, the standout pours in this series so far have essentially scored between an 88 and an 89. And those really are, at that level, buy every time kind of whiskeys. By comparison, the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, which is one of the lower scoring ones in this series thus far, scored an 84 out of 100. So the difference in those 4 to 5 points does mean a lot. And then to really mess me up, we pour the sample in this black painted Glen here. So I don't even get the benefit of the color going into this blind review. So no preconceived notions allowed. Now I'm going to grab this sample right here and I'm going to put it in my hand so I cannot see this label. But I'm going to try to show you this label here by looking away, feeling out where that label is, and getting the camera to zoom in on it so you are in the know, even though I will be blind. So here we go. All right. So hopefully that is zooming in there. I'm going to rotate it slowly so that you can read the words. But this is today's sample. And as you saw in the box, this is sample number 11. There's only one left after this. And again, that 12th sample is only a half ounce for some reason. So this is our last full sample. All right. So now I'm going to put that back into my hand so that I cannot see it. Hopefully that showed up well for you. I'm going to take the lid off. Ooh, this one's on there tight. I'm going to take the lid off there, and we are going to then pour it into the Black Glen. All right. So we are in there. No whiskey wasted. One of those I accidentally spilled a little bit all over the table. The precious whiskey. There's not much to go around. Got to have enough to review. But now that bottle is in my pocket, and we are successfully blind. So we're going to go through the nose, and then after that, go through the entire palate. The front palate, mid palate, into the finish. Describe the experience, give you the score, and then we'll get into the reveal. So cheers, everybody. And if you're still here, we do content like this all the time, each and every week, including going live on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. EST. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Come back for more. And if you really dig what we're doing here, there are links in the description to our private Facebook group or to our Patreon page. Patreon, you can join for free, though we do appreciate any support we can get. to keep this channel going. And one of the main benefits of our Patreon is top priority when it comes to our barrel picks. So hope to see you there and hope to see you come around here. Leave comments and stuff too. We really do try to learn everyone's names, engage, get to know you. That's what it's all about. It's about the whiskey, friends, not the whiskey. All right, back to this thing. Let's get into the nose. Cheers, everybody. There's a little bit of cherry, little bit of orange leading when it comes to the fruit profile, but there's also an underlying sweetness, kind of like a honey. There's even a little mint as well, though I'm not sure if it's a bourbon or a rye. Huh. And then the oak profile is kind of all over the place for me. I really dig it, but it's kind of confusing me as well. The deeper I get into it, there's a lot of vanilla cream and there's definitely like this pastry aspect to it, but it's very dense, almost like a scone is what it's reminding me of. Um, if you kind of combine what I was talking about with that lemon or that mint and that refreshingness with the scone, got some depth there for sure. Man, now I'm getting like loads of cinnamon. This thing is like all over the place, like a little schizophrenic even, having a hard time on figuring out what I should grapple to with that. So it had that like strong initial impression, but the more I was digging into it, like I like everything about it. It just doesn't feel very cohesive right now. Hopefully it can come together on the palate. But for the nose, I am going to give it an 8 on flavor and an 8 on the complexity. All right. Let's see if it kind of bounces back on the taste here. I really don't know what to expect from this one. Cheers, everybody. Let's go in for the first sip. Man, it's a flavor bomb. Let's go in for another sip here. It's like there's something I really like about it, but then there's something that is holding me back. Gosh, this one's confusing. It's just as confusing on the palate as it was on the nose. All right, next sip. I mean, up front, it immediately gives a huge blast of flavors. It's actually like a combination of flavors that I'm not really used to. Again, I think this thing's a bourbon, but it could be a rye. There's essentially this combination of mint and chocolate I keep going back to, almost like an Andes mint, if not a York peppermint patty. Somewhere between there. The cherry and orange are evident immediately. And just like that York peppermint patty, like that, there's like that vanilla cream on the inside. Mouthfeel is great. So I gave it an 8 on the flavors. And then I gave it a 9 on the mouthfeel. Like it is rich and oily and it coats everywhere. The transition to mid palate ups those cherry notes, brings in a little bit of honey, though the mint is still there, which continues to kind of mess with me. The oak starts coming in mid palate too. And it's almost like there's two different simultaneous oak profiles that are going on and they're not cohesive, but both of them are delicious. So it's not like they're not off-putting. There's just it's almost like this song, like this whiskey's trying to play two different melodies at the same time, and I'm not locking into it. So I gave it an 8 on flavors, but a 9 on complexity because I'm still just trying to rationalize what's going on. Like I'm just having a problem understanding it. So it's almost like what's kind of happening is at a technical level, I really appreciate everything it's doing. I'm just not falling in love with the flavors. And that same dynamic is playing through as we get to the finish. I mean, on the finish, it has all of those immense flavors. The spice really starts coming in. I mean, I'm just getting all types of spices. Cinnamon, maybe a little nutmeg, might be even just into allspice category here. On top of the darker oak profile is really taking over, and there is a dark cherry that's still remaining as well. The chocolate itself has changed over time too. It's really migrating more towards like a baker's chocolate powder. And then there's still that little bit of mint on the back end. I'm pretty sure this is a bourbon though. Maybe it's a high rye bourbon. I don't know. This was the most confusing one of the entire flight. I'm going to give it a 9 on balance as well. Like I'm really not sure what's going on from a flavor perspective on this one. So if I take up all the points here that we just walked through, we end up with an overall score of an 86 out of 100, which is a great whiskey. And though not my highest score of the series, this is probably going to be one of the more intriguing reveals on what is going on with this mash bill. And is it double oaked and that's why it's confusing me? Be funny if it was like finished in multiple casks or something. Like I'm confused. All right, let's get into this thing. All right, pulling this out of the pocket and then let's zoom in. Oh, it is a rye. Look at that. Wheel Horse Barrel Proof Rye. 120.4 proof. So this is a Wheel Horse rye. Man, that was a wild tasting. Let's see what we can learn more about this particular bottling. All right. So let me share screen here so that we can see the bottle together. So we went over a wheel horse earlier in the series, the bourbon, which I'm pretty sure scored an 86 as well. So when it's the red label, it's the bourbon. When it's the green label, it's the rye. So this is essentially what we're drinking right here. 5 years, barrel proof Kentucky straight rye whiskey, 120.4 proof, which is that's the proof that Todd had on the sample bottle. So this is sourced from Green River and it's their 95.5 rye. Have I had a barrel proof Green River rye before? I'm not quite sure on that. I can't think of one. Let me know in the comments if there's a Green River barrel proof rye, somebody sourcing that I should be aware of. I don't think Green River's ever released that either. And the suggested retail price on this is only $40. So if you're not familiar with Wheel Horse, it's the same company that does Copper and Cask. And instead, it's when they have Green River and they keep the prices so low. I mean, Copper and Cask prices are amazing, but Wheel Horse is just another level, especially for stuff that's barrel proof. And this would have thus been blended by our friend Steven over there at Copper and Cask. And it looks like they launched the Barrel Proof Rye series with batch one back in November of 2025. So this is a fairly recent thing. Okay, so the brand lists creme brulee and chai spice on the nose. That's a wild note. Palate moves from brown sugar and praline into clove-studded orange and cinnamon candy, followed by molasses, anise candy, pipe tobacco. God, what crazy official notes for a 5-year rye. This release was limited to about 1,800 bottles, distributed approximately to 15 states, available online in more than 30 states. So see if you can find this one. I mean, man, that was wild. For $40 though, I mean, that's a pretty fun adventure. I'd buy a bottle of that just because of the price. If the price was any more though, if it was like 60 or 80, I'd probably like kind of pass. But this is going to be one that I remember for quite a while. I'm still quite confused. And honestly, seeing their own tasting notes did not help that at all. All right. Now I'm going to go through one last taste. Now that I have the combination of my tasting notes and their tasting notes in mind. Cheers, everybody. Now that I know it's a rye, it's like indistinguishable. There's a lot of darkness on this though, man. It definitely still confuses me that it's only 5 years. Well, geez, man, what a wild, wild tasting. Have you had this wheel horse rye before? And what did you think of it? I really need more info here. I need more notes. I need more opinions on this one because after that whole video there, I am still just like, it's like I'm a compass spinning right now. Like, I don't know how to think about it, even though I know where the scores ended up. But good on Wheel Horse and everything happening over there at Latitude in Rhode Island. Fantastic blending, fantastic whiskey, fantastic prices. Just more proof of why we are such fans of everything that happens in that building. And just remember, while you can always have more whiskey, you can never have enough whiskey friends. So take care of those around you, and we will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.